The second on that screen talks about immersive storytelling. And if there is an opportunity that exists in the world today, it is the whole area of storytelling. I have a friend of mine who at the beginning of the year, of course, when ChatGPT, how many of you have heard of ChatGPT? If you have not heard about it, it's fine. It's not a crime. In fact, maybe it's better that you haven't heard about it. One of my friends who came and told me, now what's going to happen with publishers? Because with ChatGPT, I mean, you can sit down there and you can get your book written in whatever minutes that he talked about. And I said, I'm not actually worried. In fact, I'm very happy for ChatGPT because it separates the jokers and the serious people. But I think besides that joke of the serious and the non-serious people is the fact that if you think about it, all these platforms actually allow you different ways of enhancing your content. Things like doing outlines for your book, you can easily achieve that because you can get lots of ideas. But I told him the only day I'll be worried is when ChatGPT will be able to write my story. And I bet you that is not happening anytime soon. So if you are used to writing the how to do books, you are in trouble because anybody can go in and say how to do this and they'll get all the answers. But nobody can tell your story. And so when you connect your story to what you write, stories of people, making the book alive with experiences that are lived, that is timeless. It's not going to be replaced by any of these technology platforms. So think about the books that you read. And I want you to think of two things. I want you to think about what we call augmented reality, where you basically use real-life experiences, but are layered into the books that you do. Now, let me try and explain that a little bit. Some of you have seen the book that is at the back there called Days of Light in Darkness, simply telling the role of the church in South Sudan and how the church has been able to survive years and years of violence and all that has been happening in that country. And this was influenced because, as Mary Klein said, I went there with her, listened to some of the stories, and I said, I have read so much from BBC, from CNN, and all these international papers, but I had stories that I never read about. And I asked the people, including Archbishop Joseph, I said, when are you going to tell these stories? And that's how the conversation started. Fast track to the moment when we were able to go there and we sat down with these bishops and the clergy who told their stories, and all those stories are on, they were taped there on video. And so we were able to generate a book out of that content, but we have enormous amount of content or video that is lying there that resulted into that book. And what we are going to do in the next phase of that book is that we're actually creating QR codes in that book. And so when someone tells the story of their own personal loss, if you have that book, just like you used a QR code to scan this, you will be able to scan that QR code and you will be able to listen to that testimony live from the person who told the story. That confirms the story that is not, I didn't make it up, because some of them are talking about very painful losses that they went through. Loss of family, loss of property, loss of all those things. Sometimes it's easier to exaggerate when you write. But when people connect with the person who told the story and they see them interacting with you, it makes a big difference. And that's the next phase, where it doesn't cost you anything. The person will still have access to a print book, but they will also be able to hear that person say. And I'm looking at all the books that all of you have done, those who have done books, and I'm thinking, you can tell your story. You can include that as part of your content, and it enables people to engage with you as an author. The opportunities for augmented reality are real. They are not going to cost you nothing because YouTube will not charge you anything to put your videos there. You take advantage, and that's why I talked about leveraging technology. But I have QR codes that connects. And it's amazing how people are able to come back and say, oh, I listened to this story. Now, do you have another book? Or can you do this? Can you come and speak on this subject?